Oh my God, all of you, please come in, take a seat, and close the door. The return of Gina Han, she was unable to testify, but she has returned. Although Diddy was unable to call her to testify, she has returned. Remember that Rolling Stone piece that was published in which it was stated that survivors are actually hunting for more survivors, making a statement to the judge in the form of a letter that says, "No, this mofo is dangerous." Do you have any idea who they have managed to drag out of their proverbial bag? If you are guessing the woman who stood up on Tasha K's website and claimed that Diddy Dog stomped her out and tried to dog stomp a kid out of him, then you should post something in favor of Diddy. Hey, SS would like to write anything in his favor. Gina Han, and she is currently elaborating on the fact that he has become a change guy. I think you are absolutely right, baby. Gina is up here on the front lines, windmilling in an effort to get her man out of this situation. Diddy is in a difficult situation himself. Now, baby, pay attention because I have a lot to say. Let's get into Gina's letter, since I have a lot to say. However, before we go into the actual language of the letter, I will provide you with an outline of Gina's entire letter. I really hope none of you are eating anything right now since we are about to set up shop. Gina asserts that she does not consider Diddy to be a threat to not only herself, but also the community. To put it simply, Gina, you are a survivor, and we say this with all due respect. I will offer that to you because you were the only person who was aware that witnesses should not testify. You are now out here trying to be useful and prove that you are the secret sauce, in my opinion, to a man who does not appreciate you at all. However, in light of the fact that you are doing to you do not have any genetic diversity. It was clear to us, Elisa, what he had to convey to you about young Miami. The importance of his roles as a father, a businessman, and a family guy was highlighted by her. Blah, blah, and no blah. Although he acknowledges that their history was filled with highs and lows, he asserts that he has made clear efforts to modify and improve, and claims that he has not been violent in a significant amount of time and that he has been devoted to his children. How many children does he have? Adults were the ones he got. With the exception of Baby Love, everyone over the age of 18, how much does it cost to purchase a box of crayons, some apple juice, and some cinnamon graham crackers? Baby Love is not referring to the price of these items. What is the price of it? Dana Trend is not only stunningly gorgeous, but also exceptionally talented and a specialist in the field of cybersecurity. Get out of this place, Diddy. It was requested that the court release him on bond so that he could continue to provide for his family while he was under monitoring. It is about time for Diddy to reach the age of retirement, and he has a large number of grown children who ought to be working in order to provide for him. However, do you know what? Now, let's get down to the meat of this letter. Before we get started, I'd want to mention a direct quote. By the time our relationship came to an end, he had exhibited a level of love, patience, and kindness that was strikingly different from the way he had behaved in the past. I am old enough to remember that you were crying into the wind when Diddy threw you out to the curb in order to welcome young Miami into the fold. To begin, Gina, I am old enough to remember that he did this. You were bawling your eyes out about that to the wind. Did he truly cease with the domestic vovo, or did he merely remark, "Okay, I got a replacement, in response to the question asked? Regardless, this is what Gina has written. Are you all prepared to deal with this? I am writing to yo. However, do you know what? Now, let's get down to the meat of this letter. Before we get started, I'd want to mention a direct quote. By the time our relationship came to an end, he had exhibited a level of love, patience, and kindness that was strikingly different from the way he had behaved in the past. I am old enough to remember that you were crying into the wind when Diddy threw you out to the curb in order to welcome young Miami into the fold. To begin, Gina, I am old enough to remember that he did this. You were bawling your eyes out about that to the wind. Did he truly cease with the domestic vovo, or did he merely remark, "Okay, I got a replacement, in response to the question asked? Regardless, this is what Gina has written. Are you all prepared to deal with this? I am writing to you as a person who has been named as victim 3 in this case. My name is Virginia Hun, and I am writing to you personally. For a considerable amount of time, I have been acquainted with Sean Combs in both a professional capacity. Gina, in what capacity do you function professionally when you are out here? What is it? Have you ever worked for him? Do you know what? Even if I'm perplexed, I am getting off topic. Let's get going. As a result of that experience, I have mostly observed him within the context of his roles as a father, a family man, and a businessman, all of which he has consistently strived to uphold. The purpose of my letter is to convey my thoughts and feelings regarding his personality and to politely urge that the court allow him to be released on bond while the matter is being continued. This is going to have to be put on hold. I'm going to require every single person who has been victimized by Diddy to stand forward. When you don't have time to write, it doesn't matter if you have to get on chat. I'll still be here. Get on the GTP chat. It is imperative that you make your voice heard, so you should send a voice note to them, have them outline it, and then email it to Judge Aaron. We are unable to allow Gina to. My opinion is that you don't have any sense, hun. Do you agree? Because it makes no difference to me what he is doing or is not doing. Despite the fact that you have stated that he treated you in such a cruel, horrifying, and filthy manner, you choose to remain friends with him and serve as a character witness. Given the amount of harm he caused to Gina, if she had filed charges against him, he would be doing time in jail right now. To add insult to injury, I'm going to require each of you to compose a letter in addition to that. I beg your pardon, miss. It is respectfully requested that you give your opinions regarding his character and that you humbly suggest that the court allow him to be released on bond while the matter is being heard. Do you think that when Gina betrayed the prosecution became terrified, and that is why they shortened the witness list? They were unsure of who they could rely on and who they could not rely on, and they took a chance, which did not come out well. Let's proceed because, in any case, Diddy's victims, you should compose your letter and also fulfill the responsibilities that he has always worked hard to fulfill. Behaving in a loving and compassionate manner toward the persons with whom you share your body or with whom you had sexual encounters does not count. However, as a family guy and a businessman, if you are such a bit, then let's proceed with this. In addition, I realize that someone has mentioned that based on your views, it would be helpful if someone could email him a link to the Tasha case interview on Gina. In my opinion, Judge Aaron is in need of hearing it, thus I would appreciate it if someone could email him the link. Could you tell me, Gina, have you been lying all along or have you been lying now? Whoever you are a liar. In addition, if you were late, we went through highs and lows and we made mistakes, but he was willing to admit that he was wrong and to learn from his experiences so that he might make better choices in the future. He threatened to get you on your knees to eat her box if he wanted it to, and he had Young Miami shout you racial slurs. He also threatened to have you eat her mailbox. He had you as a joke in front of everyone. You were falling over and out. In spite of everything, he has not claimed you, and there is also the abuse. Moreover, that was sent to Judge Aaron by someone. What were the visible efforts that he took throughout the course of the years that followed in order to become a better person? The reason for this is that he handled Jane in the same manner that he treated you, possibly even worse, and he rectified the damage that he had inflicted. The energy of love, patience, and kindness that he embodied until the time that our relationship came to an end was a significant departure from the behavior that he had displayed in the past. Both of these things are true. First, you were losing your mind because he stopped communicating to you, and second, it appears that he transferred that feeling onto Jane. Knowledge, which is a term that we employ in a very general sense. Gina asserting that she possesses knowledge as well as any other form of claim. No, I am not sure. Over the course of many years, he has not engaged in aggressive behavior and he has made it his priority to be a father first. It was just now when you, Gina, heard him admit to what he had done to Jane to reiterate, I am aware of what people are saying. Gina is a victim. Gina is a victim. It is possible that she is, but when it is reported that she is, Gina may not consider herself to be a victim. However, it is necessary for certain members of the public who perceive themselves as victims to see, ohm forward and truly throw a shield of defense and attempt to get this jerk out on the street. At this point, it doesn't matter to us if you're a victim or not. You're using your brains to get him out of the situation. Due to the fact that you are unequivocally on Diddy's side, we need to begin looking at doing the operations as well. Again, I am curious about whether or not Gina's testimony would have been the missing link that would have led to the incarceration of him. Gina picked a squad as her own, and she ended up winning that team. I'm just saying that we can look at the way that Diddy has always respected her, which is interesting since I'm saying that. You won't be right back in the scenario you were in before, which is a humorous thing to consider in the event that he is released. The only reason it seems as though those scumbags did not Gina is because I watch love actors lock up when these scumbags are released from prison. It was spanking new for them. Obviously, they are going to inform you about the heavens and the moons while they are incarcerated. They most likely distributed the same love letter to as many people as possible so that they could carry pieces of it with them as they traveled around the jail to write their stupid girlfriends back home. But once they are released, the situation will be very different. It is recommended that Gina watch Love After Lockup during any season, regardless of the season. Like many other relationships, ours was not always without its flaws. This letter is being written because I do not consider Mr. Combs to be a threat to either myself or the community. Nevertheless, you stated that you were not a victim, right? Therefore, you are not a victim and you do not pose a threat to either yourself or the community. He has never been charged with a crime before. Indeed, this was the very first time that anybody had the courage to openly speak out against him. During the entirety of the investigation and proceedings, he has demonstrated a high level of cooperation, respect, and consistency. What exactly are you referring to then? A significant number of his family members and members of the community, especially children who are dependent on him for both emotional and financial assistance, are connected to him, no longer have children. They are children, but they are no longer considered children. He does not have any children other than baby love. If he were to be granted BOM, he would be able to continue taking care of his family and carrying out his responsibilities while still being subject to the surveillance of the court. What kind of money can Diddy make on the streets that he is unable to make while he is incarcerated? Those private jets are being rented out by him. The properties that you own can be rented out. Just what is it that you need to keep an eye out for? Are you able to offer any brand deals? Do you have any meetings scheduled for business? Why is it necessary for you to go out and make money? Doesn't that sound like a problem that you have to deal with? That seems to be a problem that you are having. Like, okay, I would like to reassure the court that if Mr. Collins is granted his release, I am confident that he will comply with all of the conditions that have been set on him and will not put his freedom or the well-being of his family in jeopardy. Providing him with the opportunity to return home will help facilitate the healing process for everyone involved. Who is in need of healing? Who are the poor? Due to the fact that they are the ones that require healing. Who is in need of healing? What healing method for what? We witnessed the family having a big party. What they were doing was a two-step. Whatever it was that Christian's little ass was doing, I don't know. Perform knuckle push-ups while acting like an idiot. Outside of the courthouse, we witnessed all of the dredges and low-life Phi, Elith, who were responsible for getting domestic violence cases, were out there pestering people, bullying people, and acting like fools. In what ways do you require healing? I would like to reassure the court that if Gina were to be released, she would not have any motion with Diddy when he was a free man. During the time that Diddy was with you in bed, you did not have any motion with him. During the time that Diddy was incarcerated, you did not have any motion with him. It is certain that what is yours. Are we going to require someone who can move in order to bring that up? Even if Young Miami were to say it, it's possible. Providing him with the opportunity to return home will help facilitate the healing process for everyone involved. Are you referring to the victims? I humbly request that you take into consideration the aforementioned facts while determining whether or not he is eligible for release. I am grateful to you, Gina Han, for acknowledging my time and consideration. I am concerned about this. Gina is a fool. This is a very stupid letter. And here's the thing, if it were on that jury of morons, maybe because I believe they made a mistake and I thought their verdict was ridiculous, in my opinion, they got it wrong. It is not even necessary for us to be concerned about them. Greetings, I am Judge Aaron. Gina, you sound exactly the same as you did throughout the entirety of your relationship with Diddy. Stupid. Being late, exhausted, and just about finished. Man, you need to stop. Your family is this family. Because of the way that this family and Diddy are using her up, I really hope that she was paid. Be that shield of protection for your man, but don't be afraid to do it nonetheless. Raise him back up, act as the mother he requires and desires, and keep an eye out for him to escape. I can't say when he will leave, but if he does, wait for him to wipe his feet on your face, just like he always does, at least. That is my own. That, my friend, is the confidence I provide. I would like to reassure you, Gina, that I